or something like that. But I want to share some experiences on my research, which I performed in Antwerp and Brussels. And during that research, I encountered a lot of irregular migrants, illegal migrants, undocumented migrants, asylum seekers. All those names denote something, certainly and foremost within a human rights context. And that's what I find a little bit problematic, that people are denoted as such, as illegal and very different names, but the people I have encountered are people, are human beings, are not illegal, are not undocumented, are not in such situations. That's a perspective I want to share. Now I want to say something about, because the previous speaker said it all, I think, about the logic of participation, about the logic of contributions, about the logic of Western democracy. And I will draw upon some experiences I gathered during my research in Antwerp. Now, what I want to convey is that we in the West are not that smart, in fact. We can't take that much. And I draw upon an experience I shared with Getachew, who I've come to know, and who told me about all the atrocities and everything and problems, and it's a whole list of things. It's too much. And a lot of the Belgian people can't take that it's too much. So, what I find interesting to share is that the logic of democracy prevents some people to enter the country, a lot of people. Because within the human rights discourse, people are protected, and I find it very good. You need to be protected for famine, you need to be protected for mutilation, political persecution, and stuff like that. And some people get asylum for that. But most of the people I've come to know, and who have shared experience with me, have come here with an idea of human rights, and that they would be respected here. A lot of the people I got to know told me, oh, surprise, human rights are not respected here. And one example, and I think it's an example a lot of the undocumented know, is that it's very difficult to get medical support in Belgium if you're undocumented. And I got, in the Protestant Social Center where I worked, one day an Iraqi man who lived in a shelter, and he was ill and couldn't get follow-up medical support. And the striking thing is, and that makes me mad, because I wanted to start with that, in fact, I'm mad and frustrated about these things, is that the center there didn't give him the help. He came to the Protestant Social Center to say this, to signal this, and he said to me, in my country this wouldn't happen. In my country I would have received medical support. And here in Belgium, no way. But let me say something also. I'm a philosopher, I'm very fragmented sometimes, I'm sorry for that. Let me say something about that logic of democracy. I think a lot of the people that come here, and I know that for a fact, have a lot of problems, and they can voice these problems, but again, they are only heard within that human rights context. It's about famine, it's about, like I said, mutilation, but you cannot speak too loud about democracy. People I've got to know said, okay, if I say to the DVZ, the Service for Foreigner Reception, I don't know how it's translated in English, they experience the fact that if you really say Ethiopia, there is no democracy there, and if you voice that in a very loud way, if you are very critical about it, they say, shut up, don't say that, because, and that's also striking, and makes me also mad, is that every country in the world, or almost every country in the world, is acknowledged as being a democracy, in some way or the other. Also Ethiopia, it's acknowledged as a democracy. Crazy. But okay, let me return to the people that then go to the deficit and explain what they say, I explain that they are very critical about democracy. It's not heard. And that's problematic. Now, what's not problematic is that we are all here now, and that we tried to get things heard. And that's something we need to cherish, I think. Because, again, to that human rights thing and participation, which the European Union has a short definition of that in the Lisbon Agreement and the goals therein. It's about work for all, social integration, and participation in the society of knowledge. I know for a fact that there are a lot of people who don't have a job, there are a lot of people who, how should I say it, are unable or are not allowed to socially integrate, and a lot of people are not allowed to participate in the society of knowledge.
First of all, I would like to thank everybody who organized this event. It's great that things like this happen here in Belgium. Oh, that's better. Now, as has been told by now, today the Ogaden National Liberation Front, the ONLF, it's very confusing with the OLF, they are the main rebel group resisting the Ethiopian rule in the Ogaden. They were established in 1984, but ever since 2007 the situation there got much worse because the ONLF attacked a Chinese oil field on April 2007, killing a lot of Ethiopian soldiers and some Chinese people, which made the Ethiopian government furious, and they were determined to crash down the ONLF. However, the biggest victim of this conflict is, in my opinion, just the local people living there who are stuck in the region. Now, there are a lot of difficult things going on in the Ogaden. A lot of similarities with the stories I heard today about the problems in Oromo. And I will just list up most of them. Now, the biggest structural problem in the Ogaden today is the fact that the region is blocked off from the rest of the world. There is a roadblock installed ever since 2007, the end of 2007, which means that no traffic is allowed to leave or enter the region, and all traffic within the region is also controlled, meaning that there is being created an enormous shortage in necessities for the people living there, for there is no way that goods can be entered, can enter the region. There are two options. They can stay in the Ogaden, or if they have the means and the opportunities, they will leave the place. There's a massive brain drain going on, and who can blame these people? Now, those young people who will stay in the Ogaden only have three options. They can either join the UNLF or join the Ethiopian government, or the third one is just to stay low profile. And I think all three of these, every option they take is as lethal, as dangerous as the other two. What counts for every young girl in the Ogaden anyway is that no matter which side they're on, they all have to carry a gun, because those who don't carry a gun are bound to be raped. Now, for everyone in the Ogaden, young people, older people, elderly people, there's